Today is a national day of prayer. It's a privilege, it's an honor, it's a day in which all Americans are called to pray, to come before their Creator, to humbly bow before God and ask for His guidance, for His leadership, for Him to guide our leaders. And especially in a year in which there's been so much turmoil, we're dealing with the COVID pandemic. We're in a year in which we're going to be voting for new presidential leadership, whether it stays the same or whether it moves on to something new. There's a lot of different things going on this year that certainly we need to appeal to God for. And Paul in 1 Timothy chapter 2 called Timothy and the church in Ephesus to pray. He says, "First of all then, I urge that entreaties and prayers, petitions and thanksgivings be made on behalf of all men, for kings and all who are in authority, so that we may lead a tranquil and quiet life in all godliness and dignity." Now, Paul was asking for that for all Christians, to make sure that they pray for kings and for those in authority, for all men, so that we can live a tranquil and quiet life, so that we can lead a life that is obedient to our God. I encourage you today, this is not just a random day. It's a day in which we get to bow before God with millions of other Americans, asking Him to guide us, to comfort us, to give us grace during this time. People have been called to prayer over our history in a big way. It started first in 1775, when the Continental Congress was trying to decide and go through with the process of becoming a nation and separating from the leadership in England. And that's a big deal. But once again, it happened in 1863 with Abraham Lincoln. And of course, the Civil War is going on. And he's asking everyone to humble themselves fast and to pray to God for their nation. The day of prayer is a big one. But it wasn't signed into law until 1952. And so it's interesting to note that it hasn't been a law or a national day until 1952. So it's only been going on since then. But that doesn't mean that we haven't had national days of prayer, or when the nation has been called to pray. It's been going on for a very, very long time. In fact, there's at least over 1,500 days in which states and the nation itself has called Americans to humbly bow before God and ask Him to intercede on our behalf. Remember that God is sovereign, that He is our King, the King of Kings, and He will guide us, but we need to look to Him. We need to appeal to Him. I hope that you will bow your knees before the Father today and ask for His grace, for His mercy during this time. Ask for His blessings and ask for His leadership.